He's crying. This is so beautiful. With WWE Hell in a Cell in the books, I gotta say, this was probably my favorite WWE pay-per-view since the Royal Rumble, and I'll explain why. Burn it down! You see, the WWE throughout the year has been struggling, you know. Weekly TV, low-key, they've been struggling. You know, earlier this year, Raw had the upper hand, in my opinion. SmackDown was just terrible. Raw had the at least consistent booking. Then, somehow, it took until the summer where SmackDown became the show that was consistently booking every week, and Raw was the one falling back. I mean, with Raw Underground, yeah, I made jokes of it, but when it was gone, I was not really like, oh, they should bring it back. They didn't even do much with it, so. But as far as pay-per-views go, I did enjoy Extreme Rules. I did enjoy Money in the Bank. I did enjoy SummerSlam. I did enjoy a little bit of Payback. Clash of Champions was great. Backlash was lackluster for me, but I'm just saying, like, out of all the shows that they've done, it's funny. Throughout the year, the worst pay-per-views I can think of is Backlash and Elimination Chamber, but every other show has been great. Rumble, Mania, Money in the Bank, Extreme Rules, SummerSlam, Clash of Champions, and now Hell in a Cell. But Hell in a Cell tops all of them, or at least all of them except the Royal Rumble, because you're not gonna beat Asuka versus Becky. You're not gonna beat Brock Lesnar in the Rumble, which built up Keith Lee, Ricochet, and Drew McIntyre all in one match. Plus, you had Edge return. You had Bryan versus The Fiend in a strap match for the Universal title. The Women's Royal Rumble match. I mean, come on. You know, I mean, yeah, the Queen won, but still. But my point is, I'm at this point where, since there's no crowd, I'm relying on storytelling. No crowd, I can do storytelling, and WWE has done that so well. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you should really do, because honestly, I've been like, when it comes to pay-per-views, I do live tweet. Like, as the show's going on, I tweet how, you know, what I think about what's going on at the moment. I tweet about the matches afterwards, how I feel after the show is done, etc., etc. I don't even need to look up the matches. I remember all the matches that happened the other day. So let's just get into it right now. I still believe that the main event should have been Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. A lot of people try to tell me otherwise, that, well, McIntyre in this WWE title reign never main evented a pay-per-view. Look, I honestly believe when it comes to, especially now in this day and age, in today's era where there's no crowds in WWE right now, there's no crowds in wrestling, period, right now, other than New Japan, the fact that you had the most important match story-wise open the pay-per-view. Now, if there was a crowd, I wouldn't mind it, because at least the crowd would have so much emotion for the match alone. But for you to start a crowdless pay-per-view with Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in an I Quit Hell in a Cell match for the Universal title, and you end the show with the least, it's like they went backwards. In my opinion, they went backwards. They went from they took the most interesting storyline that they have right now, and they put that on first. Now, if it was just to get your attention, I get it. I'm just saying, you know, you could have had the main event open the show, and you have both men car crash, you know, just going at it, you know, non-stop, fast-paced action, like, you know, like, just open Hell in a Cell, give it 30 minutes, and then, you know, do almost what they did in the main event, but in the opening. I mean, I still believe they had this whole thing backwards. Reigns and Jay, story-wise, you can't beat that. I'm sorry. Sasha and Bayley had the best in-ring action Hell in the Cell match of the night, no doubt about it. But story, you gotta give that to Reigns and Jay. That's why I would put that in the main event, because you would be so emotionally drained from Reigns and Jay. You know, I mean, yeah, sometimes predictability can be a pain in the ass, you know? Things being predictable, like Reigns and Jay were. It was predictable. Reigns was going to retain. Jay was going to say, I quit. But the thing is, we didn't know how he was going to say, I quit. We didn't know how he was going to lose the match. And the fact that Roman kept beating the dog shit out of Jey Uso, and then authorities, fucking, you know, Adam Pearce and the refs and officials, all these dudes coming out trying to stop Roman, preventing Roman Reigns of beating the hell out of Jey Uso more. All for Jimmy Uso, which a lot of people keep confusing him with Jay, which is actually funny. Jimmy Uso comes down, does the same thing what he did at Clash of Champions without the white towel though. He comes out, he covers Jay, he tells Roman, look what you're doing, man. We family. Why are you doing all this, right? And but before we get to that, throughout the match, Roman and Jay beat the dog shit out of each other. Now, Roman did go on a finisher fest, kind of like Brock Lesnar. You know, he just went and spear. But then again, there's no pinfalls. You just gotta beat the shit out of your opponent, right? So all you gotta do is make your opponent say, I quit. Roman hit him with the spear in the abdomen, in the sternum, and still Jay was like, nah, I ain't saying I quit. No matter what you do, drop the drive-by drop kick onto the steps, crashing into Jay's head. Nope, not enough, you know? He beat the dog shit out of Jay, still not enough. He had the strap that Jay brought into the match, still not enough. No matter how much heart Jay had in the match, every time Jay had an advantage or he at least had a chance, Big Dog put him down. And then, like I said, Jimmy comes out, he covers up Jay, he tells Roman, what are you doing? We family. Is this what you want, man? And then, somehow, Jimmy Uso got Roman to cry. When Roman started to legitimately cry, I started to smile. Like I was so cheesy with my smile. I was like, he's actually crying. He's crying. This is so beautiful. The storytelling was so beautiful, bro. I can't even count. The fact that he cried. And now when I think about it, he didn't cry because of what he's doing to Jay, what he's doing to the family. He's crying because the Usos don't want to fall in line to the tribal chief, Big Dog. So Roman was crying because because of what he was going to do next, which was the guillotine onto Jimmy Uso, which was I still have the image in my head of Roman locking in the guillotine, Jimmy Uso with eyes popping out of his head, reaching for Jay, telling him to wake up, to help him out, and then Jay sees his brother in danger, who's still injured, by the way, supposed to return by, I think, in January, right? Jay finally says, I quit. The fact that Roman did everything he could to put Jay down, but Jay still had that Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn-like babyface, never say die attitude, and still continued to fight despite that he was almost unconscious. To then he sees his brother in danger. All it took was his brother Jimmy Uso, his older bro, to be hurt. All for him to say I quit. You can't beat that! I'm sorry! You just can't! No chance in hell you could beat that alone. I sat there for 45 minutes sitting here wondering, why was this the opening match of Hell in a Cell? After the match was done, I almost turned off the pay-per-view. I didn't care about Hardy and Elias. I mean, I didn't really care to begin with. I didn't care about Otis and Miz. I almost didn't care about Bayley and Banks. I barely cared about Orton and McIntyre. Compared to that, you can't beat that. I will take storyline, storytelling, grade A, 100% storytelling, and less wrestling than 1,000 moves performed with no storytelling in it. You can't beat that, bro. You can't beat that. So, after the matchup, Reigns, he recognized what he's done. All the tears, I guess it was like mock tears. I don't know. You know, he was so sweaty, you can't really tell if he was crying or not, but it looked like he was crying. I don't know. But in the end, Roman Reigns, you know, he recognized what he's done. He got the Usos right where he wanted him. You know, hold the title up high, right? And he had the serious look on his face. He recognizes that. I think the stipulation was that Jey Uso was going to be in line, that the Usos or Jey Uso was going to be like doing Roman's bidding, could be a servant, etc., right? Stuff like that, right? You had Roman go up the ramp, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I need a cigarette. This match is great. And then you have Roman's father and uncle, family members on the stage. They gave him the lei that Paul Heyman did at Clash of Champions. They gave him a different looking lei, like spikes on it. And then he just stands there. It's almost like, I almost got that feeling of, was this something that Roman's father wanted at WrestleMania 31? Why do I feel like that's what he wanted and he got what he wanted? So we can all agree now that Roman doesn't suck. It was WWE's creative booking. Roman Reigns, right now, is the best superstar in all of WWE. But Roman now, with his new physique, his new teeth, all that shit, now Roman Reigns with the Universal title. Roman Reigns made the Universal title what the WWE title should be. I can finally say now, Roman Reigns is the greatest Universal Champion of all time. I can say that now. I can honestly say that right now. He's beaten Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was my favorite Universal Champion, was the greatest Universal Champion of all time, better than Kevin Owens, Goldberg, Finn Balor, all these other people. No, right now, Roman Tribal Chief is the man as Universal Champion. Now, the rest of the show, 15 minutes, I just started talking only about that match alone. That's how you know I'm invested in that match. Other than that, Hardy and Elias. What am I going to say about that? Oh, Hardy got himself disqualified. Okay, we're going to see a rematch on Raw anyway. I already know it. I didn't read no dirt sheet or Fightful or Meltzer or Alvarez or all these other people. Nah, I already know it. It's happening on Raw tonight. Maybe tonight or next week or whatever. It's going to happen on Raw. Hardy and Elias too. Lashley versus Slapjack. Slapjack got destroyed by the almighty Dominator in Lashley. Now, Miz versus Otis, I was watching, I'm like, okay, give it some time, it's gonna end soon. And then, the heel turn that I never expected to happen. I don't know why they turned him heel, even though he's on a different show, but still, I didn't expect it, I was shocked, I was like, no fucking way. Miz is now Money in the Bank. I feel like we're in 2010, I'm in elementary school. You know, I don't have the gray hair yet. I can honestly see Miz failing to cash in, which would be a big ass waste. I'm not gonna lie. You took the contract of one guy to another just to fail it. But still, I wouldn't put it past WWE to fuck this up. So, now let's talk about the best women's Hell in a Cell match of all time. Fuck the first one. Becky and Sasha. Last year was okay. It was good. This one was better. The in-ring action was great. Sasha really proves that she is one of the best, if not the best, women's wrestler on WWE's roster. When it comes to Sasha, Sasha feels like a superstar. I just want her to be at Trish Stratus level. Great match, no doubt about it. Back and forth. You know, there's some parts in the match where I thought someone got legit hurt, but the selling is beautiful. Sasha Banks selling is so great. Bayley selling is great. Bayley dishing out all the punishment that she could on Banks, but Banks is still willing to fight, still willing to stay alive. That never say die attitude, that Eddie Guerrero-like attitude. I still remember that Meteora where like Bayley was holding onto the table. She's crushed against the cell. And then Sasha dropped the table at the last minute, ran up the table, Meteora, double knees into the face of Bayley. That was wicked. And in the ending of the match, you had Bayley and Banks, right? You had Bayley set up the ladder between the chairs, which I thought she was gonna botch that, but no, not the case. Set up the chairs, great, and then she put Banks on the table. She got spray paint. I was like, why? In my head, I'm like, but Banks is already wearing white. Why would you wanna? Okay, well, she gonna fuck it up anyway. She spray paint, X marks the spot, gets a chair with the X on it, and I think she's about to do like a elbow drop with the chair onto Banks through a ladder. Banks got out the way. Bayley hit the ladder instead. There was one point in the match where Bayley tried to like get two candlesticks, try to like wrap it up and try to make like a bridge or something. Didn't really work out. I mean, I would have like made sure. I would have actually took time and actually put them shits, like line them together and then fucking wrap that bitch around. Yeah, you feel me? And then do some damage. But either way, in the end of the match, you know, at some points I thought Banks had it when she hit the belly to belly. I thought it was over from there, but no, Bayley able to kick out. But then, now I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping that Sasha was gonna do the move that Bayley did to her at TakeOver Brooklyn 1. Could you imagine the poetic justice there would have been if Sasha Banks hit the inverted Hurricane Rana from the top rope on the Bayley like Bayley did at TakeOver Brooklyn 1, and then Sasha did, I don't know, maybe she did the bank statement instead of the belly. She did the bank statement and gets the job done. That would have been nice. That would have been a nice finish for me. I would have got immediate flashbacks of that match. That would have been great. That's just me. But the ending that they did was great. Sasha Banks got the chair that Bayley actually, you know, that Bayley turned her back on Sasha Banks with. You know, she did damage with to the leg or the throat of Sasha, right? She got the steel chair, and then she wrapped it. She put the head through the chair, and then bank statement, wrenching it in deep. Of Bayley, and then when Bayley tapped out, I actually popped. I was like, oh shit, she won the belt. And then the first thing I said was, give her 30 fucking days, will you? She's always held it. That's where her last ring was like 2-3 weeks. Let her hold on to it to WrestleMania. Maybe you build up Bianca Belair. And then we get the match that I already did in Universe Mode. Bianca versus Sasha at WrestleMania for a women's title. Not that hard. You have her win the Rumble. You don't give it to Ronda. You don't give it to Becky. Ain't coming back. In no fucking way. People are saying that Becky Lynch is going to come back by the Royal Rumble this coming year. Hell no. You really think that you being preggo for 8-9 fucking months, birth the baby out, and then get in shape, what, 4 weeks later for the Rumble? And now we talk about the main event. Well, what's there to talk about the main event? I mean, they just beat the shit out of each other, Orton and McIntyre. There was a great shot of Orton on top of the cell, McIntyre looking up, and then Orton's like telling him to come up. They actually go up the cell. I was hoping that they're going to do some crazy shit, but they didn't do much. They just got on top of the cell. Orton had a, camouflage, like, red pipe. I think he beat the shit out of McIntyre with it. McIntyre fired back. McIntyre took time to taunt for some reason, and then Orton caught him from behind. And then Orton was like, yo, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit, I'm out. I'm going to go off the cell. He tried to keep climbing down. McIntyre follows on the side of the cage. I'm like, okay, well, I've seen this before. Down the side of the cage. I did not expect McIntyre to fall through the announce table. I did not. I thought Orton was going to be the one to take the fall, and then McIntyre was going to retain. But at the second he fell through the table to McIntyre, I kind of had a feeling that we were going to see a new WWE champion, because it would be kind of overkill if McIntyre went through the table off the side of the cell, crawled back in the ring, and came out of nowhere with a Claymore and just pinned Randy Orton 1, 2, 3, even though Randy Orton wasn't really that damaged in the match. Y'all saw my reaction towards the ending. McIntyre went for the Claymore. He went flying, no connection. Orton dodged that one. Kind of went an RKO. 1, 2, 3. Orton, 14-time WWE champion. Hope y'all enjoyed my Hell in a Cell review, thoughts, etc. What do you guys think? I took too much time on the Reigns and Jay match, but good God, how could I not? I mean, that match was my favorite match of the night, favorite match of the year. So, I mean, the way how I went into detail of that match compared to the other matches, you can already tell which one I was more interested in. I mean, for the love of God, that storytelling was beautiful, immaculate. It was clean as fuck. So, what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. What are your thoughts on Hell in a Cell? Did you hate it? Did you like it? Do you agree with me that Reigns and Jay should have main evented the show instead of opening the damn pay-per-view? Because if you open a match like that, that is that hot, you have the rest of the card. You don't really want to watch the rest of the show. So that's just me. Thank y'all for watching, and I am out later.